I'm making this video to document my thoughts, kind of like a diary, uh, so I can refer back to my notes later on. I have been alienated from my son since birth. My son's almost 3.5 years old. I've been in litigation with the Hampshire Probate and Family Court out of Northampton, Massachusetts for over a year. In that time frame, the judge thought it was acceptable to allow something like 11 and a half hours visitation every 2 weeks. Um, I've repeatedly asked for a reasonable schedule. Um, and because I kept my son for what I felt was in his best interest in December, I haven't seen my son this year. The judge is ordering supervised visits at the YWCA after I explicitly told the judge that growing up in an environment visiting family members in an institutional setting had a negative impact. And despite that, she still ordered it, knowing that the YWCA doesn't have any visitation. So I haven't seen my son this year. And at this age, it's wildly inappropriate. I think at any age it's inappropriate, but because my son is going through arguably the most developmental phase in his life, being physically separated from a biological parent is psychological abuse of the child. And the court is participating in that, if not conspiring at this point. The mother has had no intention of allowing me to see my son properly from birth. She denied a DNA test for over 5 months at the beginning for me to find out that he was my son. The case is parental alienation on its face. The question is, why is the judge allowing it or encouraging it? Why does the judge take everything that the defense says at face value and disregard everything that I'm saying while overlooking the law, the Constitution, Massachusetts state law, the MPA, Massachusetts Parenting Act of 2025? It's ludicrous. It's abuse. I may have to bring this case to another court for justice, but that's obviously a long process. No one really cares. Um, you know, I'll still do what I have to do, but the point is, it's going to take so long that my son's growing up and I'm not with my son. So I'm guessing this is why, right? My case is not unique at all. My understanding is that this is a systemic problem across the country. I imagine that's why there's a bill out of New Hampshire to abolish the family court. Makes 100% sense to me. It's overdue, just like everything else that's corrupt in this country. Yeah, the mother's repeatedly lied. She said that I harassed someone at the daycare, but that wasn't true. And she didn't say who the individual was. She told me that nobody wanted me at daycare. That wasn't true because I got a letter from or an email rather, after I asked the question to the director of the daycare if that was true. She said it wasn't. The mother has done a lot of questionable behavior, telling me to kill myself in front of the child. She physically shoved me on December 8th of 2024. Apparently, lit the apartment on fire and had the apartment condemned. Got into an accident while driving with my son in the car, is what she said in court. So all these things, all this questionable behavior, from the mother, who has sole custody because she's a woman. We're an unwed couple in Massachusetts. The judge is just like 100% biased. It's not even up for debate. I was told essentially, hearing one, that the laws in Massachusetts favored the mother. Well, that's fine, but my son has rights, and those rights have been overlooked every step of the way, while the court is now participating in the parental alienation. This is psychological abuse of a minor. It's occurred the entire time that we have not been allowed to visit each other adequately or appropriately. Just spend enough time together, right? A child needs to physically be around both of his or her parents at this age, not just one. And that's obviously not up for debate. I'm not saying, I mean, I am saying that, but everyone else in the world who has a level head is saying that too. So for the court to now go into questioning whether or not I need a mental health evaluation after I was the one who asked for the court to have the mother have a mental health evaluation, given the track record of behavior that I've witnessed so far, it's beyond ironic for the court to now address that with me, my mental health issues, while they are psychologically abusing my son by keeping him away from his biological family. So, and they want to have me have a drug test, and maybe periodic drug tests, and drinking, questioning my drinking, right? But I don't drink. I might have a beer, right? But I don't drink. I might have 4 beers a year, but I don't drink. I smoke pot. That's not illegal. But you want to make me out to be this criminal while you're keeping me from my son. And the mother, I believe, smoked throughout her pregnancy, and if not, for sure, while my son was an infant in the apartment. So there's a lot of projection. I think it's called a Marxist tactic. Where you kind of accuse the other party of what you yourself are doing. It seems like there's a lot of that going on. It seems like the judge is completely biased, as far as I've seen. So just, again, documenting what's transpired to date. The defense wants to say, oh, he sent 30 messages. We're forced to communicate through AppClose per the mother's request. The mother's requested all this: the visitation, the AppClose, pickups and drop-offs at the police station, all supervised visits, all this stuff. I mean, they really just want to make me out to be this this criminal, but they don't know me at all. And the last 2 appearances, the lawyers, because she has different lawyers stand in when one lawyer can't be there, another lawyer's there. But they both made the comment, oh, he's unhinged, he's got mental health issues, he sends 30 to 50 messages a day. And it's like, yeah, in some instances I have. You're alienating me from my son for years while lying to me about everything. Like, I have no sense of security that he's okay or in a good environment, given the fact that you expose him to Rotten to the Core and Demon Hunters and Wicked and everything else that is wildly inappropriate for someone that age to view. I have no sense of comfort in this. But have I acted irrationally? Not once. I haven't showed up at anyone's place of employment, right? I haven't showed up at anyone's residence. The worst you've seen from me is a nasty email or posting the truth on social media, right? To get some attention and eyes around this injustice. So I'm extremely calculated and intelligent. And so for them to say that I have no self-control, I send all these messages, but I've literally sent 0 messages to the mother since our last court appearance. 0. I have no intentions of. Why am I going to communicate to this person who's lied to me the whole time and is keeping my son, right? Not allowing me to see my son. I've said all the things, right? I've gotten it off my chest. I've told her what she's doing is wrong. I've illustrated it. Have I used the best language? Probably not. Who gives a fuck? You kidnapped my kid. Are you kidding me? Like, there's and I don't need to tell you guys, like, there's obviously, the world is upside down. Obviously, I'm just one example of many. But we will press forward, and the people's voice will be heard. Good will be heard, and the right thing will be done.